Hello, hello. Check, check. Is this thing on? Hello, hi, hello. Can you hear me? Yo, my setup is a little bit better now, too. I got the green screen set up properly a little bit more. The only thing I haven't set up yet is my headset. 1 second. So I'm not convinced this headset is charged properly, so we'll see. Well, they at least connected, so I got that going for me, which is nice. Oh, hell yeah, schmeppo. Yeah. What's going on? Let's see if my headset actually flipped over. Nope, it's coming out the other one. 1 second, let me see if I can get this fixed. This one. There it goes. Alright, you guys hear that okay? You can hear the game? Yeah, you got that, Okay. Good shit. Alright. Are you guys prepared? We have a tower to go get. We have another lightning storm up there, which is kind of concerning. I think that's the Twin Peaks. The Pelican is over there, and there's a glyph right there. So that's we're maybe gonna make progress in this game. Of the dirty little crime boy that we are. I don't think I changed the title of the stream. I think I only changed, hold on, let me, we're not playing Minecraft. Dirty crime boy. Shenanigans. There we go. Okay. I updated the game we were playing, but I did not update. Oh, hey, they have hi Beetle. We love Beetle. We did do the shrine. Cream is here. All right, let's do the map first. That seems like the smart thing to do, because we'll fly into the air and then we can move to it. That just looks like doom. Oh, I guess we can help this Korok on our way. Oh, there's another one right there, too. Did we kill everything over here? I think we already did this. Where'd the Korok go? Oh, there he is. My friend and I got separated. Of course he did. Oh my god. That's... Bro, that's so far away. Come on, man. How are we gonna get him over there? Well, I guess we could attach him to a cart, can't we? I don't think we're wearing anything metal. I think we're okay. Oh, yeah, no, we're good. We are good on metal things. Nice. Okay, we have a quick build menu now as well. None of this is going to be useful. Do we have extra wheels here? Oh. We do! Oh, wrong button. Sorry, it's been like 3 weeks since I played. I have no idea what any of these buttons do anymore. Well, that's a little bit offside. Think we can get it on straight? I don't know. Oh, there we go. We got it, we got it. Link is apparently not a metalhead. Yeah, you were correct. So... Cool. Where are you going? Off he goes! Take him to the top of the hill, roll him down. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. We're going all the way over there. Ah, don't run into me. Get out of here. We're gonna have to take him across the water, right? Like, he's on the other side of that. Well, I guess we could go that bridge, right? Where are we going? What the fuck? As much as I said I wasn't gonna get right there. Okay. As much as I said I wasn't gonna get distracted, I seem to be getting distracted. Alright. Get back here. We got you, little dude. Don't worry about it. Got him. Alright, we gotta get kind of across, so hopefully this will take us in kind of the right direction. Oh, we're going the wrong way. Ah! Come back! Son of a bitch! Oh, goodbye. Well... Oh, I'm getting blown this way. Fuck. Oh, hey, what's going on? We were doing fine. And then I messed it all up. It looks like it's blowing the right direction. Oh, it is now. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're kind of going the right way. It'll be a little bit like that. Oh, it just turns. Boo. This is not gonna work. Yeah, see, the thing just turns. That's lame. Boo. Boo. The best way to get him across then. I can't walk him across. I could try to... I guess I could walk him across the bridge. Alright, let's go! The only thing I don't really like about this is I have very little camera control when not doing this. You can't really see much. So hopefully nothing tries to wreck my day going across this bridge. It should be fine. It's just a regular bridge, right? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. See? Proxium Bridge. We're fine. Oh, hey, there's a treasure chest. We'll grab that on our way by, too. Why not? I should really just make a cart. I should make a cart that I can lash my horse to. Save myself some trouble. And I hope everybody's having a good weekend. It's good to be back. I do appreciate that I said I wasn't going to get distracted and then immediately grabbed a Koro. It's the only... It's the way to do. There you go. Yeah, thanks. Cool. Big Preach. Okay, later. Goodbye. Back to business. I guess we should grab that treasure chest while we're here. Oh, it looks like there's a couple. I wonder if one of them's a mimic. Good shit. Ancient Blade. 50 attack power? Jesus. Yo, we got some good shit. Not close enough, eh? It's okay, we're well trained for this. We've done this before. Making the longest bridge you've ever seen. There we go. Oh, shit. Did I break it? I seem to have broken it. Oops. It's fine. I'm sure it's everything. Oh, fuck. And then I drowned. Can you... Link, I swear to God. Don't be a bitch. I can't get it. I seem to have knocked it off of wherever it was, and I cannot... Okay. Well, I guess we don't find out what was in that one. Maybe we'll remember to come back later. Oops. Oh no, I'm good at video games, guys. Very, very good at video games. How dare you question my video game proficiencies? What is this? Oh, it's one of these spots. What do you think? How you guys feeling? Want some murder? It's been a while. Shall we start a turf war? I think we should. I think we shall. Oh, how kind of them.
Yup.
What's in here? Oh, I got some springs. Yo. Will that be good enough? I don't know what they're running from. Come on, come back. You'll be fine. Here we go. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Who even needs Link? These little robots are just gonna... Jesus. Oh, the Moblin decided to join. I do enjoy the turf wars. Bonk! Oh my god. This is so relaxing. They're throwing rocks at each other. Like, they have weapons. They're just not using them. Like, they can't get to each other because this guy's stuck on the water? Did I, like, come back and just break this game? Is that what's happened? Did the Moblin come out? I don't know where the Moblin is. I need to kill that guy, but not yet. Oh, there's the Moblin. How are these two not gonna fight? Oh, somebody hit a... Oh, the black Moblin is dead. Let's go get his bits. That's worth some shit. What are these? Splash fruits. Pressurized water cooking will bring out enhanced swim speeds. Ooh, splashy. Okay, so all the Moblins except the big boy is dead. Oh, please hold. I need a better bow. This bow is crap. Aw, boo. Oh, hello. I don't like the fact that you have a cannon. It's kind of freaking me out. Oh, I forgot this was icy. Oh, I missed. There you go. Cannon shield? Jesus Christ. Soldier's construct horn 3. Bow. Captain construct horn, very nice. A boring club, who cares? A thing I can throw. Don't want to stick. What do we got over here? Cabo bits. Okay, I don't know if we can sneak up on this man. We're gonna try. We're pretty stealthy. We are very sneaky crime boys. Yeah, we'll be fine. We're super sneaky. He'll never know. Oh, shh. He'll never know. I don't have a shield equipped, I've now realized. Okay, there we go. Oh, shit. Hello. In the butt! You're dead. Oh, good job, Toolin. Toolin, you badass! We need those. We take those! Hell yeah. First fight back. I'm gonna go ahead and call this successful. Good job, team! We definitely rolled a 1 on our stuff, though. Yeah. That was my mistake. That was my bad. It's okay. It's fine. Oh god, it's a blood moon. And I'm right in the middle of their place. Shit! Shit, 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 shit. No, 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 no. Nah! We're leaving. Tulin, we're getting out of here, bro.
When the glow of the blood-stained moon shines
upon the land.
The aimless spirits of slain
monsters return to flesh.
The world is threatened once again.
The world is threatened once again. Oh, poor Zelda, man. She's having a bad time. I don't know what she's up to, but it's rough, buddy. Anyway, we're fine. Everything's fine. It's just gonna take us 3 years to swim across this when we could have just walked, but it's fine. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Da-da-da-da. Highway to the danger zone. Gonna bring you right to the danger. Don't attack me, you little shit. Is something fighting me right now? What? Excuse you? Where are you? Are you, little bastard? Okay, I don't know where it is, but, oh, there you are. Hi, you little shit. I am not using this really good weapon on you. That is not worthwhile. Hey! Fuck you! Ooh. Yeah, nature is to focus on an herb. Oh, the Octorok eyes work the same as the Keys eyes. Very nice. I like that. Oh, I missed. Bonk. Oh, she got him. Good job! You got him. I'm just gonna take the spoils and I'm out of here. What are those? Sorry, Tulin, I didn't mean to ask you to do that. Ew. Oh, it was Nightshade. Cool. Where am I going? I've already become lost? Oh, there it is. Well, this looks like a Koro spot if I ever did see one. What? What are you? Do I need to put one of those blue things in here? Is that what this wants from me? Can't hide if no force you, right? Oh, what happened? Huh? Did I just, like, completely misjudge that? Get back here. Do I need to attach it? Can I attach it? I can't attach it. This is some shit. Okay, I don't know what this is, but it's a Koro thing. There's no way it's not a Koro thing. Okay. We need to go that one, and we need to go that one. How did I manage to end up still on the wrong side of the river? There's a shrine up there, too. Well, we take these. Oh, hello. Give me your bits. Give me your eyeballs. Give me your balls. Thank you. Greatly appreciate. Oh, that was the one I was going to. It's way closer. I thought that one seemed kind of far away. There we go. Why does that look sus? That one looks kind of close too. Oh well, whatever. Go to this one. I promise I'm not totally aimless in this game. I have a purpose. I definitely know where I'm going. Oh God. Jesus Christ. Oh, go fuck yourself well too. Great. Are there hands here? Are you hands? I swear to God. No hands? Okay. I found a well. Good. Okay, so basically, if I'm understanding correctly, where there were wells, the gloom just kind of came up and, like, people tried to defend around the well and it just fucked up their houses. I think. From the storytelling I'm gathering. Oh, hello. Oh, one shot, baby. Let's go. Okay, this looks like it's trash. I hate this. I don't... Oh, it's blocked off. What the hell? Man, this game refuses to let me not find anything that's... I found another glyph! Okay, alright. That glyph's gonna have to wait. This is incredibly interesting to me, personally. No, no, I don't think it's the same well I went down before because it said it was a new discovery. Oh shit. No, 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 you don't see anything, you don't see anything, fuck! There's nothing here! I hate you. There's, I'm... Could you not? Oh, actually. Ah, that's not high enough. Ah, boo! We run like the little bitch. We are a crime boy. We are a squishy, squishy crime boy. This is not the way we handle things. Go away. Stop with your nonsense. Alright. This is better. Much better. Okay. There we go. This is how we handle business. As a dirty crime boy. Damn. Actually, that works for us. If there's one thing that I am good at in this game, it is climbing. That is a thing that I am capable of doing. Oh, come on. Come on. No, come on. Come on. There you go. There you go, buddy boy. You got it. Nice. Alright, so first off... In the back! Goodbye. Nice. And we wait. Are you guys gonna come out? You guys coming out? Oh, how interesting. What a fascinating situation you have here. What an interesting situation that's been built up for me. Oh, how wonderful. Hmm. It's a real shame that you guys seem to be, you know, all crowded around and stuck. Okay, but how would you all feel if you punched each other in the face? I feel like I would appreciate that personally. Oh, he died. Well. In the butt. Hello! Hold still. Oh. I mean, you can yell at me all you want. And now you're dead. Huzzah! We've done it, team! Throw everything at everything! Everything goes down the hole! Woo! Easy! Arrows, horns, stuff, things, treasure. As a dirty crime boy do, there are no witnesses and we did nothing wrong. 5 bomb flowers, hell yeah. Is it crime if nobody that is terrifying. I don't trust myself with that. Actually, yes I do. Hold on. Oh. Wait, I got this. No. Hold on, no. Hold on. Trust me. Trust. Get the, yeah, drop this shit. Get out of here. Okay, yeah, give me this. Okay. No. Oh my god! Jesus Christ! Is that just a unbreak? How do I get out? I guess I can probably ascend out. Yeah, why would they stack 3 like this? That's a good question. I couldn't tell you. Alright, I guess we do this. Let's go! I didn't attach anything to this throwing thing. It's fine. Hello? Hello, is anybody home? You think I missed? Oh, maybe I did miss. Think I aimed too high? Could be. Maybe I just suck. Oh, look at all the berries. Fruit, whatever. Hell yeah. Oh, apples too? Nice. Oh my god, this place is huge! Why is this glyph so absolutely massive? Well... Oh shit! You know, I thought that seemed suspiciously easy. Alright, let's go, you piece of shit. What you got? Boom! What? Oh, I shot that way too high. Well, fuck Got that going for us. Oh, it fell on. Oh, that was it falling on the ground. Okay. Bonk! That didn't do anything. Oh shit! You gonna fall? Cool, thanks. I got this. I totally got this time. The first time we found one of these, we had to run like little bitches. But not. Well, you know what? No one asked you. Oh shit! Ah! Well, you know, that was shorter than I thought. I definitely lived a lot longer than I thought I would. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, hello. It's you. Wonderful. Let's go collect this shit. We gotta switch our weapon out. No. Oh, there's another bokoblin over there. Oh, and another one right there. What the hell? Well, fuck you. What is going on? Why are there so many goblins around here? What? How did I just, like, run by these guys? Stay down. Stay down. Okay. Your guts. I'm gonna go fight that Talus. I'm confused as to why these guys are here. Yeah. Fucking choo-choo jellies. I'm just kidding. I like the choo-choo jellies. They're super cute. What is this? Oh, it's this girl again. Okay, well, we're not gonna deal with her right now. As much as I like her stuff. I do want to climb this, though. What is this? What are you? Oh, it's one of the springs. And a fan. Okay. Well, I have a ladder to climb. It's very important to me. Get up. Climb the ladder. Oh my god, climb the ladder. There we go. There we go. Alright. Where is the tier on this crazy huge glyph? I see nothing. Alright, I'm cut. You. No. Where? You. I'm coming for you. What? Ugh. Nadra? Cute. Some assholes? Let's go. Well, okay, well, I almost killed myself. Let's try. You know what? Nobody saw that. It's fine. We're just gonna. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't even worry about it. I should probably also make myself some new food. Fire fruit are incredibly useful. Collect all of them. Running around at the speed of sound. I don't have my horse. Why? I don't really know. I guess I'll help you. What's going on here? engineering degree, am I right? Pah! School. I don't need to have these on anymore, actually. I can take a break. Yeah, it counts. Listen, it gets the job done. It's fine. It's fine. What are you guys even... What are you even worried about? What are you even worried about? Don't I... It's perfect. Okay. See? He said so. It's... Pay me. $20. Listen, stop being so real to the actual... Like... We're not gonna pay you enough money, but here's a pizza party. Cool, thanks. Okay, bye. Dude's head. Alright, this rock is suspicious to me. Is there a reason where I would want to use this rock to roll down a hill at somebody? I wonder. I miss cream! I left my horse at home. Ugh, that's okay. I'll enjoy the scenery to myself. Oh. Well, hate that. Hate that! Flexible fibers, raises defense. I'll take it. Pine cones! Hell yeah. Alright, well. I guess I don't really need to just walk up the pathway, do I? But I guess I also could just kill them. Murder is an option in this scenario. And I could make them murder each other. Go! There you go. Ooh, yo, they mad. Hoppin' mad, even. Ooh. Dude. Bro. What do we want to use here? Ruby sword. Let me help you out, bro. Get him! Easy. Good shit. Yeah, I got one of my arrows back. Nice. I got a cricket. Oh, this looks like more go fuck myself. What if I don't? What if I don't go fuck myself? What if I go up to the shrine here? Oh shit! How? Fuck you! You crabby hands! Get out of here! Bad touch! Bad touch, bad touch! No! No! Bad touch! Bad touch! Ah! I can't see. Bad touch! Bad touch. No. No grabby hands. Bad touch, grabby hands. Where are they? No. No! I did not consent! Where'd they go? I don't even know where they went. Ugh. Oh, there's a whiz robe right there, too. They're really making me work for this one piece of map. That thing's weird. The fuck? See, and this is why we always get... What the fuck is that? Oh, it's just a push. This is why I always get 2 stamina wheels. 2 stamina wheels is the way to go. Hit. Okay. Hi. Hello. What the fuck? What? Spring and... Huh? Oh. Okay, well... Shrine. Let's go! Yeah, I saw Nay rule the dragon, so... Well, what? Yes, tell me about the shrine. In the upper left. Hold on. Upper left. Right here? Right there? I think it might just be stuck like that. Let me see if I can make an adjustment. Is that better? That should fix it. Are we good? I think we're good. Now what am I doing? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, okay. Launch me! Oh, I can't see. Oh, thank you so much for the cheer and the gift subs. Enjoy. I don't know who got it, but thank you so much. I gotta get audio on for the alerts. I'll try and fix that for next time. I'll probably try and fix it tomorrow. I'm gonna assume... Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, well, whatever, it's fine. This didn't work at all. I thought it was supposed to be a spring. Boo! I think I might have broken the puzzle. Oops. Maybe I can grab it from down here? Oh. Do I have to hit it to turn it on? It's one of those. Ah! I see. Woo! I see. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad I fixed it. Wonderful. Can I have that? Can I have that? You know what? It's fine. We're just gonna, I don't know. First the chest, now this. There's no winning. There is no winning. Actually, I'm gonna move you guys a little bit. Just for a second, hold on. I just need to make you guys a little bit easier for me to read, because I'm blind. That should be better. Hello! Much better. Hi. You guys are over here. The game is right here. I could put the game over there and put you right there. You guys, that might be better. I don't know. For now, it is what it is. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. We're gonna figure this out. It's okay. It's good to see you, Bakery Hazel. A bouncy device. So, presumably, can I just... Woo! Alright. So I gotta put it on an angle and launch myself, I take it? That is the wrong direction. Woo! Hell yeah. See, I have a brain. I got this. We're fine. Can I fuse the ball to the top of it? I feel like if I fuse the ball, it won't... Will it launch it still? Well, we're gonna find out. On this episode of Jackass, we're gonna find out if we can... This is not the right angle. We want this here. Okay, that's funny. I should have seen that coming, and I kind of did, and it was still just as funny. Okay. Oh, how do I reset it? Oh, there we go. It's fine. Everything's fine. Don't you worry about it. There we go. Bonk. Woo! Look at that. Hole in... All in one. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. What is this about? I don't know. I didn't see the treasure anywhere, but that's okay. We're not done. What? Huh? Do I get a double spring? What happens here? Let's just hit it. Ah, let's go. Woo! I don't see anything. Did I miss where I was supposed to go? No, I did not. Oh, do I gotta go like super high? Ouch. Do I have to like... Huh? What if Dumb Cook Friday... What is Gun Cook Friday if not Jackass, but for Twitter sphere? I mean, we don't always talk about Twitter. I mean, we definitely do, but we don't always talk about Twitter. That is where I find most of my jackasses, to be fair. You ain't wrong about that. Okay, well, how do I make it go double high? Do I need to go high up here instead? Yes. It's not for going over here. It's for going over there. Aha! Stick this right here. Huzzah! I didn't do any permanent damage. It looks like a frog with teeth. Come on, Link. I believe in you. Nothing will go wrong, I promise. Let's go! Boo! Okay, we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to do this a little bit nicer. Okay. Stack them all nice and taut right on top of each other. There we go. Let's go. Yeah, well, listen, you can wait. There's treasure here. Treasure. Ooh, good for sneaking. Good for crime. Yes. There's been some more Vic Mignogna stuff that'll be fun to talk about. What? Why did I not go as high this time? Oh no, my knees went through my chest. Oh boy. Whoopsie. Oh god. How far do I guess I gotta start again. That's okay. That's okay. It's fine. Let's go. Woo! Woo! Easy. Yes. Do I still have to do this again? Yeah, okay. Like that. No way we're getting a hole in one again. Oh look, there's even like a little divot. That's cool. I broke my weapon! That's so sad. I like that weapon. That was a good one. I guess I can take this opportunity and fuse some garbage. What do I got here? Traveler's Spear and Claymore. Okay, yeah, that's fine. A Traveler's Sword. I guess I could just stick a sword on top of a sword. This one's like shiny. What do I got? Do I have any good shit? Oh yeah, I have this. I don't, you know what? I don't think I want to put it on a +7. I think I can find a better thing to put it on. It is a +7 durability. 57 attack is, that's a good thing to have in your back pocket. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. Hell yeah. What else we got here? We've even used one with durability. Ancient Blade is for arrows. What do you mean? 57. Look at this. It's a bit unreliable against monsters. What the hell does that mean? Oops, wrong button. I don't know, it looked fine to me. What's this one? Oh right, you're opening. What else we got here? Black Bacabo Horn. That's pretty good. What's this one? Turn it into a katana, you say? I feel like we got... This is a claymore. This turns into a hammer, don't it? Feel like it do. Feel like it do. Get a couple of those. There we go. Okay, I'm not gonna like sit on using these all the time, but having some good shit is some good shit. Okay, let's make one that's like a little bit less obnoxiously strong. Just because it's good to have stuff that's not like as insane. There we go. Yeah, why is it not sending me as high? The one time it sent me super high. Okay, well... see if I care. What if I put 3? Then what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, game? What are you gonna do? You're gonna make me go even higher? Let's go! Oh, one of these didn't close. Why didn't it close? Now I can't get up! Oh, did it just drop? Oh. Let's close it first. There we go. Listen, you weenie. Let's go! Rocket to the moon! Hell yeah! Ah. Yeah, I'm a fan of the green screen. I like being able to use it when I can. I'm also trying to increase my stream schedule, so expect more art and games with friends and stuff here. Hey. It not fusing is not my fault. That wasn't me. That was 100% not me. That was 100% the game. I hope you guys who are in the Discord did catch the furry bait that we did. That was... I'm so proud of the silhouette. Oh, thank you so much. Discrod? I'm really happy with the way the silhouette turned out. I was super, actually, impressed with the way it is. But I want to paint it. So the idea was, proposed by chat, was Digimon, which is something I'm not good at drawing. I don't really draw Digimon ever. So that was a fun challenge, first off. Second off, they said to do my dog as a Digimon, but then said to do like the Digimon Tamers fusion, where the people and the Digimon fuse together. And I was like, oh my god. So we tried it. I feel like we succeeded. I thought we did a good job, but we gotta paint it, so that's gonna be coming up soon. So make sure to follow and all that good shit. If you're new here, if you're lurking, enjoy. Why am I trying to climb this? Why am I trying to climb this? It's raining. You think I could extend that little tiny bit? No. I guess I just sit here on my ass in my hoodie until it decides it wants to stop raining. Since apparently it doesn't want to let me jump in from the underside. Where is the gooby hands? Where are you, goopy hands? Stop that. Stop that. I have no idea where those goopy hands came from. Ugh. Ugh. I do not like the grabby hands. Digimon is so thirsty. Yes, Digimon is super thirsty, super furry bait, like, hilarity ensues. I wonder how long it's gonna rain for. Look at how screwed up that looks. You thought the castle looked bad in the last game with Calamity Ganon flying around. Look at this shit. God. Is that a thing I haven't done yet? Yeah, I guess so. I would appreciate it if it would stop raining. I want to climb this. Please. Thank you. It's fine, I'll wait. It's not like I have better things to do. It's not like I'm trying to save Hyrule or anything, you know, whatever. It'll stop eventually, I'm sure. Surely. Sorry, I went and got a sweater. I was a little bit chilly. Gardevoir's got nothing on Renamon. Okay, so Renamon, but also... Oh, is this messed up again? Bro, what are you doing? Bruh. Bruh, come on. Please. Plux! Is that better? Did that help? A little bit? I don't know what that one corner is about. It's just like... There we go. Ah! I got nothing. I don't know. I don't know what his problem is. Maybe if I do this. What if I do that? Is that better? Alright, I tried my best. Yeah, I think it's definitely part of the lighting. I think my lighting's not actually, like, bright enough. He's just staring at his grandpa hand. Cool. We good. We Gucci, we Gucci. We all good. I already have had a shower today, but I still feel so gross. I put the t-shirt, or the sweatshirt, or the long sleeve shirt that I was wearing during the Dumbfeck Friday last Friday on the back of my chair, so the chair is, like, not seeable. Got some on me, too! Man. Man! I'm never gonna get this right. Okay, I made it a little bit brighter. Maybe it's because I have it that warm color. Like, maybe that's the... Is it gonna stop raining? Yeah, it will. We're getting there. I got the weather app on my Sheikah slate. I mean my Purapad. I mean whatever the fuck. I don't know why it's Disney. Pfft. Nintendo's making us talk about Purra's pad. I guess I could have used this time to fuse stuff. What else do I have? Oh, I guess time stops while I do this. I need to cook. Huh. 15, 17, 16, 12. Shaped like arrows. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm too dumb. Oh my god, my shirt's really bad now. Why? Why? I was fine, and then I'm not. When I'm fine, and then I'm not. Oh my god. There is no winning. Why? 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 Let's change the lighting type. Is that better? It's a little bit colder. I don't like it as much. I'm disappearing! Mr. Stark! I don't feel so good. Ugh. I apologize if that gave anybody a trauma response. But I'm not that sorry. Oh, that's the other. Oh my god, wait, there's two of these? I found a whole other one? Whoops. Okay, well. Welp. Oh well. I mean, to be fair, I also got my lighting for free from, like, a ticket drop at an arcade. So, I... Don't at me. Why does Death... Is that Death Mountain? It must be, right? This looks like one of the, like, the gardeny areas just kind of fell and tipped over sideways. I kind of wish this Link looked a little bit older, I'm not gonna lie. And when it comes to, like, character design, he looks a little bit young for my tastes. But hey, that's just me. I like older men, what can I say? Alright, it's almost done raining. I've been chewing the inside of my lip today, and I need to not do that. I gotta cut that out. Got my climbing gear. Got my climbing shirt. Hell yeah. Hell yeah! It's fine. I'm in no hurry. I'll wait. It's fine. It's fine. Let's go. It's okay. This Link is used to being sopping wet. It's fine. Non-issue. This Link knows what's up. I don't know if you guys saw some of the drama that's— Woo! Oh! I got reaction time of a god! 20 seconds ago. Ooh. Money. Woo! Okay, well, I don't want to deal with that asshole. So I'm just gonna zoom right over his head and go over there. Let's go! He won't notice me, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, well this looks like I go fuck myself. Oh! Oh, I've got the right weapon out and everything. Look at that. I got a rock hammer. Perfect! Oh, there's no one! Fuck! Money! Okay. What are you... What the fuck? They're so cute! Hi! Hello! Oh my god! Hey you guys! Oh, there's some Lizalfo over there. Alright, well, I don't want to deal with the Lizalfo, so I guess I'll take the Bokoblins. Lizalfo are annoying. Oh, I see these guys are up here. I'm gonna let Tulin handle those guys. Koro shit, okay. Alright. Done. Easy. Give me your bits. Where are your eyeballs? Give them to me! Thank you. I thought there were 2. Did Tulin shoot one and the eyeball's gone? God damn it, Tulin. I told you to cut that out. Ugh. He'll never learn. It's okay, he's just a kid. He doesn't know any better. Hello? Where did it? What? God damn it, Tulin. You didn't do it, and then you did it. God, Jesus. Let's see if I can see it shining from up here. Hello? What are you? Keys? All the keys? Hello? Fight me! Give me a slashing weapon. Fight me! Fight me! Fight me, you bastards! Where'd they go? Oh my god. Fight me! And you just flew away. Alright, well, whatever. It's fine. Listen, just because you're right doesn't mean anything. Shut up. What the hell? Oh, that's the one I was looking at before. Oh my god, there's 2. Ooh, money. Hello, money! Ah, fuck. Goodbye, money. I messed it up. It was further away than I thought it was. What the fuck was that? Got a notification for Smash Brothers. Alan. Who the fuck is Alan? Hello? Yes, hi?
Yeah.
Did you come to see this guy? Yeah. Bilson? I apologize, it looks like we're having... So are you part of Hudson's construction?
Oh.
The terminal at Skyview Power needed repair, so I can fix it, but the door won't open. I have no clue why. The door isn't locked, but it won't budge no matter how hard I push or pull. Of course, I know it's a sliding door. That's what I meant, obviously. Sigh. Worked up an appetite. I bet the nearby caves would have some tasty mushrooms.
Oh.
Yeah, there's caves at the bottom of the hill. I used to go mushroom hunting in them while I was building the tower. Like, do you just want me to give you mushrooms? I have to actually go to the caves. Okay. Well, first off, what the fuck is that? Okay, second off, I don't care. But caves at the bottom of this hill. Okay. Money? Did you stay to get shot? More money? Oh, that's not money. That's a flower. Money! Okay. Caves, 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 caves. I see no caves. Dun, 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 dun. Horses. Nothing simple. Oh my god, there's a towel. Oh, that's what I saw going by before. I found the cave. Cool. Die, please. Die, please. Die, please. Thank you. I have an awful lot of bombs. Oh, I broke my bow. That's so sad. Man, all my bows kind of suck. Please die. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I feel like I've avenged myself. What the fuck? What is this? Oh, that's a... I fused that to a shield, isn't it? That's what that looks like. I got the heart of a talus on my shield. That's what this looks like. That's badass as fuck. Cool! Alright. Alright, where was that cave? Right around here somewhere? Yeah. Alright. Discovery. Gotta break some rocks. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy, hole. Diggy, diggy. I don't really have a good sword for this. That's okay. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy, hole. Diggy, diggy, hole. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy, hole. Digging a hole. Da 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 da. Ah. Where are Gorons when you need them? Am I right? Ah! Ugh. Huh? Did I just go in a circle? Okay. What? Okay. Well, I got that going for me, which is nice. Ain't no sneaking up on people in this world. Da 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 da. Wait, listen, I don't want to fight you yet. Hold on, I need to equip some shit. Leave me alone. Thank you. Well, that's been taken care of. I accidentally fused a claymore to a claymore. That is not what I meant to do. Oh, hello. Excuse you? Get out of here! Smack you in the ass! That cannot be good for the tailbone. Alright. Now that that's taken care of... Horoblins? What else you got in here? Give me all your crap! Yeah, well... That's how I feel about that. Shield of Mind's Eye. That's fine. I am a Link and I'm smashing some rocks. Smashy, smashy rocks. Bop. Smashy, smashy rocks. Bop. Did I get the bright caps that this guy wanted? Was that what he wanted? Bro, I had those in my hands. Eesh. Alright, whatever. Hey, see, look, there he is. Nadra. I'm glad that Nadra looks like that they are feeling better after the last game. Bro. Bro. I got you mushrooms. I swear to God. I found bright caps in there. Here, is this... Here. I put it... Did I not find the mushrooms you wanted? Are those mushrooms not good enough for you? Ugh. Did I miss a hole? I am a Link. Did I miss something? Am I crazy? Has I lost my mind? Take a drink. I'm sopping wet talking to a guy. What is happening? I'm breaking the door down. What do you mean? What, do I have to climb this thing? Is there an ascending spot? I can climb this. I'm a god. I did the caves. What do you want? I am going to blow you up. I swear to God. I'm gonna do it. Everybody in Hyrule has more HP than I do. Oh. Oh, wait, there's caves. I'm stupid. There's caves below. I can just go, I can ascend through the cave. I can just ascend, I can just fly. I can just, hold on. Okay, one second. Hold on. Hold on. I have tools at my disposal. Just a second. Just hold on. Just a second. Hold on 1 second. Uno momento. Just 1 second. 1 second. Oh, not that one. No, maybe right here. Maybe if I just go right here. Maybe I can rub 2 brain cells together? Shit. Nope. Well, we'll try one more time. Alright, hold on. Oh, hold on. Sorry, excuse me, pardon me. If I can just get, get right, if I could maybe just, nope, excuse me, pardon me, if I could just maybe, if I go from here. Not even close. Alright, if I only had a brain. I'm using my mini-map to try and see if I can get, like, underneath it. If I could just maybe this way. If I could just get a little bit more. Maybe if I'm, like, here. I mean, that seems pretty gosh darn close. Take it out, back, right there. Nope. Alright, well, I guess that's not the way to do it. Okay, this game's not gonna stop me. Go. Whoop. Nice. I stood on one of the paper lanterns. If you can't go over it, can't go under it, maybe we go through it. Everything is fine. I wonder if they're open at the top. I wonder if this is gonna work. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to ascend and I just haven't found the right spot yet, but I'm kind of just curious to see if it's open at the top. Can I get in through here? Will the game let me? Probably not. We're gonna find out. Yeah, I'm getting impatient. Oh, boo! 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 Alright. Alright. This is the closest that I got. Maybe I haven't broken enough rock. Maybe there's a spot here that I missed. Yeah, look at this. I don't think I went over here. I missed a spot. I did. Found it. We're good. That one. Get your sticky feet. What is this? of here. That looks important. It's over here. Oh, it's you. Ah! I definitely hit that thing in the face that time. I still don't know what I'm supposed to do with these. Give me money for my trouble. And salt. I'm very salty. That's appropriate. Alright, let's go. Alright, it's gotta be this. It's gotta be this. Let's go! There's no way this is wrong. There we go. Long stick. How did this get locked like this? How is that even possible? Ah! You couldn't see that? Can't believe this couple of sticks caused all this happen. Maybe a monster did it on purpose. Yeah, sure, let's blame monsters for all of our problems. That's a good way to fix your socio-economical issues, is just to call the opposing party monsters. Okay, bye. It was a ghost? I mean, it could have been a Poe. There are Poes, right? Or like one of the little dancy dudes. Whatever they're called. Ugh. Let's go. The Doc Ock arms are never gonna get old. Pew! And away we go! Ha ha! As if he's just scanning the ground. Like, okay. Yahaha! Lanayru Wilds. And some crap. Nice. Alright. So, I've got a glyph right there that I'm staring me in the face, right? It looks like a dragon head. That looks like a bunch of goop that I don't like. I ain't about that. Okay, well there's those guys. That's fine. Oh, there's a Hinox. Okay, cool, cool. Time to commit a murder of a different variety. Let's see. Let's get on some good threads for this. Sneaky threads. Very sneaky threads. And let's get some... Let's get a go fuck yourself stick. And time to commit a murder. Let's go. We're gonna get him right in the taint. He doesn't know. No clue. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. I'm gonna shove this stick right up where you turd. You're not dead? Ugh, I survived with a quarter of a health. He's a god! Let's go! That was definitely not close at all. I don't know what you mean. We're fine. We're fine. Low battery, oh no. That's no good. No. We might have to cut the stream a little short if that's the case, but we're fine for now. We'll go till it dies. It's fine. I have a date with these assholes. Oh no, my bow wasn't good enough to do damage. Whoops. So we got two more. Ugh. It is kind of silly taking one of those down and then having a bokoblin just one like base level bokoblin just being like, yeah, fight me. All right, dude. Sure, let's go. You know what? Props. He got balls. I'll give him that much. To be fair, I guess you know, considering I have no additional hearts thus far, I guess it is reasonable that they also hit me. I die about as easily as one of they. It's fair. I'm playing fair. That's all I'm saying. Where is the damn memory on this thing? Come on. Hey! Memory hole! Plot. Weird. Weirder. Link, go towards the light. Oh shit. Hi, Matt. Oh, okay.
Hyrule will bow down before me.
It's more than we thought! It's a swarm!
Oh, hey, Zelda.
There are so many of them. But why would they?
Touch his hair. Jesus Christ! Oh my god, Goat Grandpa, what the fuck?
That blast wiped out all the Molduga.
How is that possible?
Kiko! Oh my god. Oh, Ganon's gonna be pissed. I killed his dog.
Force will not be enough. The secret stone of the Zonai. How interesting.
Ganon's got, like, the eyesight of a god. Eyes of an eagle! Okay. Cool! Alright, so that was that one down, and now we have... let me... I just wanna... Coca. Well, where's my map? No! There's my map. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we got the... Oh, wait, what is this one? What is this? Why is this all the way over here? I don't want that. Where am I going? Huh? Where am I? Oh, I'm right here. Oh, that was the bridge I crossed. Wait, I am so turned around. Hold on. I'm lost! I'm gonna get some apples for my horse. I'm so lost. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna fast travel to the thing. The stable. Firing blight bloom seeds. Fuse a bright bloom seed to an arrow. Yeah, okay. Thanks. I appreciate you, game. Okay. Alright. Okay, but we did that. We didn't. We didn't do this one. Okay. We're going. Cream! I promise I brought you an apple. Here you go. We love you, Cream. You're a good horsey. Alright, nice. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, boom. We're good, we're good. Waka waka. Alright, Odd, take your bets. Take your bets now. Poll now. What's it called? There's a thing you can do here. It's like you can actually place bets or whatever. Okay, place your bets about whether or not we this controller dies while I'm in the middle of a fight and I get killed. My god, there's so much more enemies now. Oh, there's also a... Oh my god. Oh my god, everything is terrible. Fuck you! Okay, we're gonna go around if we can. Oh my god, there's... who is that? Hold on, who is that? I can't even tell which dragon that is. Okay. That would be a really cool picture if I thought to take one. Okay, bye! I did this shrine. This is the thing I did already. Did I not complete this? Is this an incompleted, uncompleted, not completed? Hello? Did I not do this? Did I start this and then not finish it? I'm so confused. No, I did this, right? Strafing. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, hold on. I did this. I must have done this. Proving grounds beginner. Did I not do this? 100% died in a fight. Yo, listen. You guys. How dare you? Can I just do these again? Yeah, I thought I had to do this, but they didn't give me anything. Like, I'm pretty sure they took all my stuff. I feel like I did this. And I don't see why I wouldn't have completed it. Yeah, look, there's nothing here. I did this already! I'm losing my mind. Okay, well, thanks for the crap. Okay, you usually are naked for these ones. Yeah. Oh, that gave me arrows too. Fuck yeah. Good shit. Hell yeah. Free crap. Well, that's good to know that you can go back and, like, if you need to farm stuff, you can go farm things. Swim faster, yeah. Yeah, don't run out of stamina and drown immediately. Alright, you chill for a second. I didn't cook. That was a mistake. Where am I? I am going over this way. I'm just taking the sneaky path here because I would like to not get myself and my horse killed. Because there's like a bunch of things telling me to go screw myself right now. I'm surrounded by Diablo. Oh god, what is... Oh, it's fine, it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm not worried. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. No worries, no worries. We're no worries. All good. Sure. Oh, they stopped in the center. What? It's fine. I'll wait. Ah! I'm usually not that bad at this, I promise. There we go. Yeah, that was not embarrassing at all. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm great at video games. Okay, where was I going? This way. What the fuck? There's so many bokoblins. This place is overrun. There's bokoblins everywhere. Oh, this is the place that was in the thing that I just watched. Cool. Oh, there's the thing I'm going to. Alright, let's go this way. Woo! The outpost ruins. Yeah, that was the memory I just watched, was this area, right? I'm pretty sure my horse should be able to hear it and should come with no problem. I think. I spec. Can we see Cream running across the field here? Hopefully not falling in the fuck off hole. Where is she? You see her? There she is! Yeah! Oh. Here she comes! I have the best horse. Hell yeah, Cream! Yeah! What a good horse. I have the best horse. Oh look, there's another one. Yeah, seriously, that looks like it's the same fucking horse, but it's got white feet. I want to go find the plateau, to be honest. Don't run into the... Okay, good job. Was this thing really that far away? Damn. No, it was, Frosh. Farosh. Hell yeah. What, I'm so sorry, excuse you? Oh. Great. Which bridge is this? Oh, fucking Christ. Ouch! Fuck you! How dare you shoot my horse, you bastard! Piece of shit. Come here, Cream, it's okay. I got apples for you. Are you stuck? Okay. Here. Have apple. Apple. Where is apple? Here you go. Have apple. You are a good horse. I'm also gonna have a couple apples. Still hungry? Yeah. There you go. Alright. Okay, found a spring. How dare they? Touch my horse, I'll kill you. Alright, we got the second warning. Hi, Frosh! Frosh is so cute. So cute. Look how cool he is. Look at him! Ah, he looked so cool in the first game. He looks even cooler now. Look at him! Look at his little chicken legs! Cute! I love him. Aww, is this someone? Oh, that's water. Okay. We're fine. Everything's cool. We Gucci. And I'm sure nothing's gonna try to kill us. We made it all the way through all of the literal forest of mush. Aw, get the Frosh music. So cool! What's that? Found some weapons. Oh, there's a thing over there. Found basically what is the equivalent of garlic. Frosh, you're so cool! Goodbye! See you later! What the fuck was that? Ow! Dude! Fuck off! It's daytime! Leave me alone! You're a bastard! Oh, are you kidding me? Ow! You bitch! Kicked me in the nuts! Fuck off! It is 4 in the morning! Attack me on the side of a mountain? The fuck? You guys play dirty! Yo, he's running, man! Kind of in slow motion. There goes his head. Bye! Bye! Fuck you. I'm not even gonna bother going to get your bits, you pieces of shit. Alright. I don't know why that made me so mad. Alright, let's go. Hey Frosh, next time do you mind like bopping them with your snoot? That'd be cool. Little snoot booper? No? Pick up the rock. Pick up the rock. Pick up the rock. Yahaha! There's always one. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, bye. Oh, what is this? Is that a fuck off hole? Okay, where's the... Is the memory gonna be at the top? I guess. Up here. Oh, there's the 2 freezy pine trees. Or 3 freezy trees. Where the freezy freeze trees. 3 freeze sneeze fleas. I know what I'm talking about. That's a Dr. Seuss book. Well, these trees freeze, 3 free fleas sneeze. Where is the memory on this geoglyph? Is it in that hole? Check in the hole. Always check the hole. Oh, it's not even a hole. Shit. I'm not even wearing my climbing gear. What am I thinking? What am I doing? Can't wait to get that cool ass bandana. Look at this shit. What is going on? What the hell? Okay, well. Alright, back to the top. I mean, it's gotta be a kind of a flat space, doesn't it? I mean, I guess nothing requires that. Oh, is that it? I think I found it. Yo, they made this one real hard to see. Ah, damn. Hell yeah, 2 memories in one night. And a map? Progress. Dude's got torso for days.
Sonia.
Oh no! Oh no! Furry grandma!
Oh, Zelda.
King Rauru, before you face the Demon King tomorrow, there is something I must tell you. I came to this era after finding a man underground.
Go on.
When I witnessed what the Secret Stone did to Ganondorf, at that moment, I knew for sure what we found underground, that was him. He was still alive, still powerful. He continues to live on, all the way until my time. In tomorrow's battle, we won't be able to defeat him. No matter how strong we think we are, he'll survive. And you will.
Maybe so. But it is my duty to try.
God, they made her eyes like...
It was my hubris that set us on this path. I must atone for my error in judgment. And above all else, I remain the King of Hyrule. As with any leader, it
Is
is
that
my
why
duty
her
to safeguard
dad
and
looks like
protect
his
my people,
beard is made out of mushroom?
even if I must
Mashed
risk my
potatoes?
life.
Got the same hair?
Raru.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
And if it proves impossible for us to defeat Ganondorf, we rely on your knight and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link. But remember, that was a future where you never appeared in this world. And you are here now. Zelda, I believe there is a reason you were sent to us. It has to mean something.
Okay. Doing timeline split skis.
The reason I am here.
Yeah, do something. He's just like, shit, I don't have the Master Sword. Fuck. That shit broke immediately. Alright. Cool. Well, fuck that thing. I'm gonna go over this hole just to check it out for a second. I'm just gonna go give this hole a little tickle. Look, it's got a little top part and everything. This is a great hole. Look at this hole. There's some Lazalfa over there with an ugly stick. Is this a hole or is this just grabby hands? If it's grabby hands, I'm leaving. What is this? Hole! We have found a whole new area in the depths. Oh my god, and I don't even see a light, so... Jesus Christ. God damn it. There's not even like, Oh no! I have made an error in judgment. Oh no. Guys. There... Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, no, that's not, that's a... Oh no. Guys, Hi Akabato, good to see you. Guys, I don't even see like a root blossom thing. Like, oh no. What are you? What is that? What the fuck? Okay. Alright. Okay. I don't even know what these are. Batteries? Okay. Oh no. Oh no. No. Guys. There's gotta be one somewhere, right? Ouch. I guess I should put on my gloom pants. I got some of that shit. And a gloom shirt. Guys, I don't even see like a... Fuck me. Oh no, this is terrible. Oh no. Oh god. I'm so lost. I landed on like a plateau and there's nothing. Oh my god, there... I haven't even cooked yet. Oh. Oh, that's the third warning of the battery. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna like shoot. Oh my god. I'm gonna shoot one of these times into the darkness. I'm gonna. Oh, hi. Hello. Fuck you. Hate your face. Hate you. Goodbye. Cool shit. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hey! Fuck you! No one asked! What kind of fuck off, like, crevasse have I found myself in? Damn it. Yo 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 yo. Not you. There's fucking nothing. Oh my god. What the fuck is this? It's like it's just... What the shit? It's like a literal... It's like it's just actually a hole. What? Where am I? What is going on? Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh, I've been using my soldier bow for this the whole time. Whoops. That's a mistake. Oh well. Come on. Did you really need to go through the animation for that one? Yeah. Okay, so I do like the Ascension, but it would be nice if like the animation didn't play every single time. I'm so scared I'm gonna shoot this into the darkness at one point, and I'm just gonna, like, hit one of those big mouth goobers. What? Really? Okay. Alrighty. I can't really get across this, can I? Maybe I can. Hold on. I'm a climby boy. Yeah, I know the whole thing doesn't play every time, but it on small stuff it does a little bit too often. It seems to be like the thickness of what you're going through is what determines whether or not you go through, but sometimes it seems kind of nonsensical. I got this. I got this. We're good. Oh my god. What the fuck? What place have I found? Everything's fine, everything's good, everything's fine, everything's good. Everything's fine, everything's good. Don't panic. We're okay. Ooh. We're taking those bob covers. Hell yeah. Woo! Easy. We're gods. Oh my god. What is this tunnel? Oh, thank Christ. Alright, we found a thing. I have no idea where we are. I went through so much. I've been through a ton of the depths and I still have, like, I'm not even, like, look at my map. There's fucking nothing. Lake Hylia. Oh, that's the Hylian bridge that Gliok is on. The fiery Gliok. Oh, fighting that thing's gonna be a bit. Oh, I do have icy shit. I have ice shit left over from the. Ooh, I might be able to fuck that thing up. I'm not so dumb as to try to do it right now while my controller's dying. I have some brain cells sometimes. Whew. That would be funny. It would be funny, yes. Oh, there we go. It was attached to something. What? What? It's not actually attached? Look at it. Look at the map. It's not even... What? It's just a hole. It doesn't even light this part up. What the fuck? How... What the actual hell? Is this game fucking with me right now? Like, where are you even supposed to go? Okay. Can I go home? Alright, we're teleporting the hell out of here. Oh god. Oh, right. I was just checking the hole out on my way to pass the thing. I didn't... Oh. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, back to the... I did all the things that I intended except for talk to the pelican. That's the only thing I haven't done yet. Okay. Am I in the right spot? No, I'm not. I need to be here. Fighting a three-headed dragon in your condition. What could possibly go wrong? No, it'll be fine. I'm only on a limited amount of time of which I have no idea what that time is. And my controller might die and kill me. Did I not get that? I need to get that. That was the only... Okay, that was the other thing. Oh, that went way too far. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, that... Where did that shoot? That... No. No. Banana. Get out of here. Hi, I'm gonna scare all your bird friends. Okay, yeah, what do you want?
Ow!
I've been hearing some chirps and what? Wow! My little birds. Let's say very late. The chef here, Goddard, is going to meet with them to learn a new recipe, one that Princess Zelda taught them. My keen reporter instincts tell me something is wrong. Goddard has been over there waiting for the guests to arrive. He's barely moved the whole time. Let's see. It's not usual for guests to decide not to show up, right? But what if they're unable to? They were coming to share the recipe from Princess Zelda too. The chirps and warbles are worth looking into. Okay, that's fine. That dog is adorable. Hello? August and the rest. What's going on? Oh, Gigi, the customer is the stable service counter. I may greet the guests we're expecting, but the past they said they'd be arriving. I'm extremely worried. They're across the Olin Bridge in the past, so they were coming here. I figured keep an eye on the bridge. I catch sight of them eventually. Guests are coming. The chef named Agus has taught me a lot about cooking. They're excited to visit the recipe for Princess Zelda to share. They have tests probably along the way. Showed up yet? I have a bad feeling about this. Okay. Alright. Cream. What is this pink spot? Is this where you get pink strawberry milk from? Hello. Okay, board horse. Yes. Okay, yeah, cool, thanks. Thanks for getting cream for me. Take horse. Cream. Thanks. Cream's the only horse that matters. Don't even look at any other cream. I mean, every other horse. It's fine. Kakariko Village. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true. That is a thing right over there. Fucking, okay. Well, I'm gonna... Oh, now the other one's low on battery. Okay, well, Cream, you chill for a second. I gotta cook some shit. We need cooking. Okay. We need some just regular fruit. Cool. Cook. What? Oh, drop it on the ground! Cook. I thought it tasted strange. Yeah, I'm not making anything fancy, although I should probably make 1 or 2 dishes that give me additional attack. But we'll probably save that for when we go and fight the Gleeok. Like, we're gonna go fight that thing, right? Like, of course. I'm going to use the thing, the pieces that I got off of your brother to murder you. Cool. Alright. I do have some mighty bananas. So I think that should give me some attack. And I don't know. Let's put some tomatoes and a melon in there. I don't know. But I made something great! Bananas. Hey, +3 attack for 4 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. What does this one do? Resistance to electricity. Is there a fire resistance one? What does this do? Weed? Medicinal value. Let's get some, like, meat and mushroom and greens. How does that sound? Hell yeah. Steamed meat. Alright, cool. Alright, let's go. You're the best horse ever. Let's go. A little faster than that. Cool, thanks. Alright, we need to head towards the bridge over there, so we're just gonna take the road. You take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and we'll get the wishing star before them. 10 points to anybody who knows what the hell that was. Oh, well, no. Well, those are a thing. Fuck you guys! What am I supposed to even use in this scenario? Am I supposed to carry stuff back and forth from across the bridge? I do not want to help you. What do we got? A rock. What else we got? Nothing? Hello? Excuse me? No. Fight me! Oh, fuck. Yeah, come here! Fuck you. Nice. I don't exactly have an axe. Do I? I have a claymore attached to a claymore. I stuck it to a rock. I think I need one more. Why do you look evil? Fuck off. Get your weird glowing green eyes out of here. You fucking nutter. No, that's not. This guy's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? You're fine. Give it a shot. Let's see if it worked. Yeah! I can't believe that counted. I thought it was gonna be too low. These are getting worse as we go. Alright, good shit. I don't know if I should take on these... Ooh, thanks. Premium collection. Oh, bonflower. Cool. Cool, thanks. Okay, later. I feel like I should probably... Wait. Why is that so close? Why am I going to the one way over there when there's one right the fuck beside me? What am I doing with my life? I don't know. I should... What's that? Are those the people that are missing? Man, I don't have a good bow anymore. Goodbye. Oh, bullshit! You didn't see me. Fuck you. Don't at me. That guy's asleep. That guy's gonna go to sleep. Okay, I can kill the guys on the ground real easy. That guy's gonna be a pain in the ass. What's this guy gonna do? Oops. I don't know why it just seems like killing these guys is kind of important. As long as this guy doesn't see me, we should be fine. Okay, where's he going? Oh no! Oh no! What a place to die! Yeah. Alright, well, that's where we're gonna have to call it today, I guess. R.I.P. I'll make sure to save it so it's right there. That way. Oh no! Oh boy, well. Oh, thank you guys so much for joining me. We lasted as long as we could. We almost died in combat. Very close. So anybody who voted that we would 100% die in combat, you were like off by a matter of seconds. Oh, that was so close. I was gonna... Oh my god. I was gonna sneak up to the guys that were already asleep while that guy was run away. And goddamn, that was so close. Alright, well, I will do a raid and see who's available. Surus is live. Let's go do a raid of Surus. Why not? Thank you so much for joining me. This has been great. I'll be back, not tomorrow, but I'll be back on Tuesday. There's Vic Mignogna stuff to talk about. There's newsy type stuff and things to talk about. There's like, I got a handful of things. Fresh and Fit lost monetization on YouTube, so we're going to talk about that. They were crying about it on Rumble. When I say crying, I mean literally the guy started tearing up and had to get up and leave. So we're going to go talk about that, but we'll do that next time. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll catch you later. Tell Sarissa I say hi. Bye.